Welcome back to the show where we separate tech fantasy from cold, hard reality. Today we are going to be covering a professional topic, glossy print magazines. I am a sucker for that old school glow of the glossy pages. Okay, JK, I have a bunch of PDFs, no pages either way. They are all screaming about how 2026 is the year everything changes. Apple says the iPhone Air is flying off shelves. Shattering records, pure genius. Meanwhile, real people are staring at their bank accounts, wondering why their last phone upgrade feels like a luxury tax. These magazines, they're living in a bubble, a beautiful, delusional, silicon-lined bubble. Today, we're popping it 3 times. The first magazine is The Cult of Apple, where every launch is revolutionary, and sales are always unprecedented. Then we touch on the grumpy realist at Computer Active, reminding us laptops still cost an arm and printers want your firstborn. And finally, we check out Tech Life News, the ultimate hype man, snorting lines of pure future dust, promising home robots, robo-taxis, space lasers, all by next Tuesday. Strap in, viewers, because today we have 3 magazines, 3 wildly different versions of 2026. One's a fairy tale, one's a budget nightmare, and one's basically sci-fi fan fiction. Stick around, because the truth is somewhere in the middle, and it's way funnier than any of them admit. Let's dive in, and hit the like button if you think my suit is cool. All right, let's roll the intro. Welcome back. Today we are looking at the January 2026 issue of Apple Magazine, and folks, I need you to look at this with me because I think I am losing my mind. This entire document is a masterclass in gaslighting. It is the literary equivalent of the This Is Fine dog sitting in a burning room, except the room is the Apple Store, and the fire is the unsold inventory of Vision Pros. Let us start with the iPhone Air. The magazine calls it a masterpiece and a defining overhaul. They are gushing over the 5.6mm titanium frame like it is the second coming of industrial design. Here is what they do not tell you in the glossy PDF. That masterpiece lost nearly 50% of its value in 10 weeks. Why? Because it turns out when you make a phone thinner than a sacramental wafer, you have to sacrifice things people actually need, like, I don't know, battery life that lasts past lunch. The magazine brags about adaptive power mode. You know what adaptive power mode means in plain English? It means the phone throttles itself to the speed of a graphing calculator so it does not die while you are trying to call an Uber. And the camera, they call it a fusion system, which is marketing speak for, we gave you one lens, cropped the image, and charged you $1,000 for the privilege. It is a foot traffic driver. People go to the store to look at it, say, wow, that is thin, and then buy the Pro because they actually have jobs to do. But the real delusion kicks in on page 107, the Vision Pro. The magazine says the new M5 chip and dual knit band are chipping away at adoption barriers. Chipping away at adoption barriers. Guys, the adoption barrier is not the headband. It is the fact that it costs $3,500 and makes you look like a dystopian scuba diver. The magazine claims this device is reshaping expectations. Yeah, it reshaped Apple's expectations right into the floor. Real-world numbers. Shipments in Q4 2025 were estimated at 45,000 units, not 45 million, 45,000. Apple sells more polishing cloths than that in a week. They literally halted production at Luxshare because nobody is buying them. They slashed the marketing budget by 95%, but if you read this magazine, you would think the entire world is walking around pinching the air and watching Godzilla on a virtual Max screen. It is pure copium. The disconnect here is terminally online behavior from a trillion-dollar company. They are building devices for a reality that does not exist. They tell us the Vision Pro is for spatial memories and immersive work, but the data says 75% of buyers are enterprise clients, who probably just use it to visualize how much money they wasted on Vision Pros. This PDF is not a magazine. It is an obituary for Apple's connection to the average consumer. Written in the font San Francisco, they are releasing solutions, like a slightly more comfortable strap for a headset nobody wears, and a thinner phone nobody asked for, while ignoring that we are all just broke and tired. Touch grass, Apple, and maybe lower the price. Okay, so we just looked at Apple Magazine, which was essentially fan fiction written by Tim Cook's ego. Now, let us look at Computer Active, specifically the latest issue's latest. As of time of recording, January 2026. This is a general tech magazine. They do not care about spatial memories. They care about printers that actually work and not getting scammed on Amazon. And guess what? The revolution is missing in the Apple fanverse. The Vision Pro is conquering the world, but here in reality, Computer Active barely mentions it. Their big Apple scoop is not a headset. It is the iPad 11 that is right. While Apple is trying to sell you a $3,500 ski mask to watch Godzilla, the actual tech press is telling you to buy a 300-pound slab of glass to watch Netflix on the train. Computer Active gives the iPad 11 their gold award. Why? Because it works. It does not require a dual knit band to stop your neck from snapping. It just plays movies and lets you send emails and look at their high-end tablet review. They reviewed the iPad Pro M5, the same chip Apple Magazine was drooling over. Computer Active's verdict: supreme choice, but prohibitively expensive. In fact, they gave their gold award to the OnePlus Pad 3, because it costs half as much, and does not treat RAM upgrades like they are made of conflict diamonds. Then we have the MacBook Pro M5 review on page 24. Apple Magazine called this a defining overhaul. Computer Active calls it not an essential update. They gave it 4 stars, sure, but they basically said, it is a laptop, it opens, it closes. It costs too much to add memory. This is the disconnect. You have Apple pushing spatial computing and AI cinema. Terms that mean absolutely nothing to a normal person trying to pay their heating bill. Then you have the actual market, represented here, asking, will anyone be able to afford a new PC in 2026? While Apple is marketing sci-fi dreams, real people are worried about RAM prices doubling because AI data centers are hogging all the chips. The numbers do not lie. Real-world reports show Vision Pro production was halted because nobody bought it. Shipments dropped to 45,000 units. Meanwhile, iPad sales are actually recovering because people need tools, not toys. If you want to know what the future of Apple really looks like, do not read their press releases. Look at what normal people are being told to buy. It is not a headset, it is a refurbished iPad and a subscription to Norton antivirus. Welcome to the future. It is boring, expensive, and you still need a freaking dongle. Okay, we have looked at the cult of Apple. We have looked at the grumpy realists at Computer Active. And now we have Tech Life News. If Apple Magazine is the propaganda and Computer Active is the depressing reality check, Tech Life is the hype man who just snorted a line of silicon dust. Tech Life is not just buying the Apple hype, they are doubling down on everything. They claim 2026 is the year generalist humanoids enter our homes. They specifically mention the 1X Neo, a robot with a soft shell so it does not bruise you when it inevitably malfunctions. Remember Computer Active? They were worried about affordably buying a laptop. Meanwhile, Tech Life thinks you are going to drop $20,000 on a Tesla Optimus to fold your laundry. And speaking of Tesla, Tech Life reports that Elon Musk has promised hundreds of thousands of autonomous robo-taxis on US roads by 2026. Let us check the scoreboard. Computer Active readers are getting fined for missing broadband appointments because they cannot afford to take time off work. But Tech Life thinks those same people are going to be riding in steering wheel-free cybercabs in Austin, Texas, 6 months from now. But here is the smoking gun. Here is how it all connects. Tech Life has a feature on Google Project Suncatcher, launching data centers into space to run on solar power. Why? Because AI uses too much energy. Then look at the Nvidia story. Nvidia is spending $300 billion on US chip plants. This is why Computer Active is panicking about RAM prices. Tech Life inadvertently reveals the villain. The reason your budget PC is getting more expensive is not just inflation. It is because Google is trying to build a Death Star for ChatGPT. And Nvidia is buying every silicon wafer on the planet to put inside a robot that folds towels. And even Tech Life fell for the Vision Pro scam. They used the exact same talking points as Apple Magazine. M5 chip, dual knit band, spatial revolution. So, here is the state of the union for 2026. Number 1, the elites, Apple and Tech Life, are living in a sci-fi fantasy where we all wear ski goggles and space-powered robo-taxis. Number 2, the realists, Computer Active, are just trying to find a printer cartridge that costs less than a kidney. Number 3, the reality, you are going to pay 50% more for laptops so Google can put a server on the moon. Happy New Year, everyone.